Okay, so today we are live with Diran George, a SaaS founder in our SaaS Founders Facebook group. Welcome to the live chat, Diran. Great to meet you.
Thanks a lot, Peter. Nice to meet you too. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. So you are the founder of Quickblog.co. Could you just tell us a little bit about what your product is, what it does, who it's for?
Yeah, sure. So Quickblog is a lightweight blog tool that will allow you to get your blog up and running within minutes. So most people, when you ask them about a blog, they probably think instinctively WordPress. WordPress is a very, very powerful CMS, very powerful tool for building websites. But if you just want to get your blog stood up in minutes, WordPress is quite daunting. Takes hosting, security updates, all these things that non-technical people really don't like to deal with. And so what I decided to do was, especially after I signed up for a tool that helps me build web pages very, very quickly, I then quickly decided, well, I discovered it didn't have a blog tool and I wanted to build one. And so I took the initiative after speaking to the founder of this landing page builder, making sure that they weren't going to be doing anything competitive. And that basically gave me the impetus, it gave me the drive to actually go ahead and build this tool. And really it came about from frustrations from using a tool which did a very, very similar thing. And I thought I can definitely do a much better job than they can. So I went ahead and built a tool that can allow you to add a blog to your existing website within minutes, not like hours like it would be, let's say, on Ghost or Media or WordPress, for example.
Awesome. So you because like you mentioned, WordPress does require a bit of setup, working with themes, a bit of if you self-host it, people who are not very tech savvy have to understand the hosting and the WordPress installation often. So there's some complexity there, and you've taken that away, solved it by giving people a really quick and easy way to embed a blog on their website that ranks, that's SEO friendly.
Correct, yeah.
And yeah, we were just talking earlier about how other options to do this are things like Medium, where you're not actually hosting your own content. So it gives you a solution to have something as easy to use as that, but on your own site, right? Who are the people that benefit most from this tool? Like, who's your ideal customer?
Yeah, my ideal customer, I probably bucket them into, well, put them in two buckets. So the first one is arguably right now my most widely used or user base rather, which is more of the smaller digital agencies, maybe like between 1 and 5 people who are managing a service for their own clients. Maybe they're doing web design, maybe they're doing social media, and then they're able to tack on this as an additional service to add value to those customers. So whether they are either doing the blog writing for them, so that maybe they have like AI writers and they're actually hosting their blogs and writing their blogs for them as they appear on the website, or they're creating this sort of white label service, which is also possible with Quickblog. We have a white label service that allows these agencies to brand the Quickblog app with their own branding, their own login URL, creating users, sub accounts, and then give access to those clients to then go and create their own blog, add that to their website, and then manage all of their posts. So that's arguably my biggest user base right now. The second user base, which is probably the biggest target, the one that has probably the biggest addressable market, which is around those who are either hobbyists or people who are starting up in business and creating some sort of passive income. That could be travel blogging, food blogging, it could be technology blogging, whatever it is, right? Whatever their passion or their their hobby is, actually creating that into a blog, which is going to be very, very profitable for them, especially as their audience grows. What I've actually done is to make Quickblog very easy for them to set up on their website. And even if they don't, for example, if they don't have an existing website, that they can actually create one with us. So we can provide them with a free website, and then again, free blog. So you don't actually need to set up or pay anything. It's effectively done for you. And you'll be able to then write about whatever your passion is in that respect.
Neat. So you're using a freemium model for getting users. How are you finding that for a blog? Because I like that because it's easy to get set up, easy for people to start using and seeing how simple it is to use Quickblog. How are you finding the freemium model working for your SaaS?
Yeah, so it's actually been really, really successful right now. The number of people who I've had sign up for free, who have then converted to a paid model, and this is actually something I can talk about, but I actually ran on AppSumo. And those people who've just been testing the platform, making sure actually it does what it says on the tin, and then converting to paid it's been a much higher conversion rate than I thought it would be. So of I think the 300 odd people who signed up for free versions of the system, actually 50 of those have converted into paying customers. So I was really, really surprised. And that's like I said, it's a much higher conversion rate than I thought it would be. I thought, even just to get like 5% conversion would be quite neat, but to get that many was very surprising.
Yeah, that's great. Really nice validation as well, because so many times people have a different experience. You put a lot of time and effort into building a product, and you always kind of hope that it does get the adoption that you're aiming for. So that's a good experience. I wondered if you had additional features for bloggers, because you were mentioning the kind of hobbyist or the travel blogger, or these kind of independent business people signing up their own blogs. Did you add any features for them, or do you have any things in your roadmap that help you shape the direction of where you're taking your blog?
Definitely, yeah. So on the roadmap is I have obviously like two different audiences to service, but I think I can definitely make it work. But the main focus for Quickblog is search engine optimization. So how do I make sure that the platform is what it says it is on the tin for everyone? What that means is that they'll be able to rank on Google whenever they're creating posts, right? And that's the number one priority for me. But also I want to make it as easy as possible for people to blog and publish anywhere. So any sort of like multi-publishing platform tools, I'm not sure if you're familiar with things like StoryChief and even some other platforms that publish to WordPress, Facebook, etc. This is something that I've got very squarely and firmly on my mind. How do I make it so that these, like the big sort of addressable market, the ones who are bloggers, like I said, independent business people, can actually get their content delivered to multiple places from one place, one central location. Now, one of the things I always talk about with Quickblog, especially in the user group, is how like questions come in. How is it different from WordPress? And I say to them, look, CMS is like WordPress is really powerful. What Quickblog does is it allows you to build and centrally manage multiple blogs from one place. Because you could have, let's say, 20 WordPress sites, right? But you'd have to log into each of them to manage their blog posts. With Quickblog, you can add a bit of code to all of those WordPress sites, and then you'd be able to centrally manage, just by literally clicking the account you want to go into, centrally manage all those blog posts, schedule them, even import your blogs from Google Sheets as well. So if you're wanting to do like mass sort of loading of blog posts, you can do that all in one place and do that very, very efficiently inside of Quickblog.
Cool, good. So you're already differentiating from your main, kind of what you consider your main competitors, and you're also, planning features that are going to target your biggest audience.
Yes.
You touched on the AppSumo launch that you did, so I wanted to ask you about that. How did you find that process? How did it go for you?
It was phenomenally successful. I was actually blown away, considering it was a self-list product. So I didn't have the select campaign. And so it really started off from my sort of alpha and beta privately, and I did my own private LTD. So I'd had about like maybe 150 people. I decided, no, I think now's the time to go on AppSumo. Spoke to the team. They said, yeah, look, happy for you to self-list. And it blew up. So in just over a month and a half, it grossed around $61,000 of sales. So
fantastic.
Yeah, I was absolutely blown away.
What were you expecting? You were not expecting anything like that?
No, I was not expecting that. I mean, that just goes to show the validation is definitely there for this product. But I was thinking, if I can make if it can gross, let's say $15,000 to $20,000 in 3 months, I would be a happy person. But yeah, for it to do that much in just over, it was 6 weeks, I think. I was absolutely blown away.
That's
And
awesome.
especially the last sales day, the sales just absolutely skyrocketed. Yeah, like even speaking to the team as well, I was speaking to the group members in my Facebook group, because everyone's in, well, a lot of people in there have got about 540 odd members in there. I talk about what I'm going to be doing, like how I'm going to be improving the platform, the types of people and the team I work with. So it's really, really important that they get all of that transparency. And I think that's really helped, as well as some giveaways that I did, and speaking to other like lifetime group founders. All of that has really helped compound the sort of sales in that spot.
Great. No, I love it that you had a really good experience on there and a lot of success. Was there anything that you did right, or any advice that you could give to anyone thinking of going down that LTD route with their launch?
Yeah, so definitely some good advice is obviously test the waters first. Do your alphas and betas internally, create a Facebook group or some sort of community that people can feedback, whatever that they feel is important to improve your product. But also doing things like your reach out calls. So I did a few sort of one-to-ones with my early users. Okay, find out what they want, and that's how I built out the key features. So it was like white label, multiple languages, and a few other bits and bobs. And then taking that to AppSumo, what I did was I created the ability to have multiple codes, which then, okay, if you upgrade to one level, which is like an agency level, having different things like, different sort of, not just tiers, but different value adds. So like white label was a value add. And I knew that people would like that as well. So having a lot of these sorts of things in mind, in terms of how you're going to take your product into like a bigger market. For AppSumo, even if it was self-list, it's still like an 800K user base. So having that and hitting things like the customer favorites and the what's new and all that, all hitting those lists really helped accelerate its growth and sales especially.
That's great. Awesome. I also wanted to ask you how you built the product, because obviously, you incur costs, and this launch would have done really well to maybe, pay off some of the costs that you already invested into it. And then also hopefully give you some future, hopefully give you some cash, but also give you some money to, use in the future for growth or new features. How did you build the product?
Yeah, so completely candidly, I'm not technical. I can't code for love or money, but I guess I'm in a fortunate position. I'm in the sales role where it's very, very flexible. I earn enough money to put away so I can invest in type of this in terms of this type of development. And I've worked with a company, a developer I found on Upwork. They're absolutely brilliant. They're so fast. They did the alpha and the beta so quickly. So having all of these things and building the roadmap and putting that to them to then create and add the features, that's all been done by this development company. I create this sort of roadmap and the vision, and then they effectively implement it for me.
Wow.
So I've been very.
That's awesome. Did they do the design as well?
I went to Fiverr to get an independent sort of a gigger to actually create the designs.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make it very, very simple, just so people can focus on the content. And I think that's what people like as well. So
great. And then the other thing I wanted to ask is, are you working full time? Have you done this while you were in a job?
Yeah. So I've been working full time as well. So the sort of hour I get every here and there, like 5-10 minutes, just to answer support queries, Facebook questions, that sort of stuff. They're all like golden moments, right? So I can literally just take that time and put that back into the business. And so, like you said as well, with the revenue that has been generated from AppSumo, I'm pretty sure 99% of it will go back into the platform. I've got a very ambitious roadmap that I want to be delivering for doing things like improving the SEO features, improving just the usability, and like I said, this sort of publishing effect that I think will make Quickblog an absolute #1 contender in this blogging space.
Oh, that's great. Diran, it's awesome to hear your story of what you've done so far. I'm amazed that you've done that just, while as a side hustle. So I wish you all the best with it to continue growing it. And thanks for joining us to share.
And thanks for having us on the EP. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. We'll
Awesome. Take care.
again soon.
Have a nice day. Bye.